Several world leaders are under fire this morning after being implicated in the so-called Panama Papers. The massive document leak contains allegations of money laundering and tax evasion. The papers name 140 politicians and public officials. The leaders come from more than 200 countries and territories, and they allegedly did business with the Panama-based law firm Mossack Fonseca. The firm specializes in offshore finances. The company says it has never been accused or charged in connection with criminal wrongdoing. Gillian Tett is the United States managing editor of the Financial Times and joins us at the table. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Once again. So the scope of this, of course, is stunning. What is the possible fallout for leaders around the country?
Well, this is indeed
around the world, really.
An amazing story, potentially an earthquake. And we're already seeing demonstrations in Iceland because the Prime Minister there is implicated. We're seeing the President of Ukraine
He's being
under pressure.
To resign
exactly.
Right now.
We're seeing in China, they've banned all mention in the media because they're worried about the fallout against Chinese politicians. But the big issue is Russian President Vladimir Putin, because his circle of people are very much mentioned in this leak. He himself is not mentioned, but it's certainly created a lot of exposure on what's going on inside Putin or around the Putin camp in terms of moving their money around. $2 billion is a number being cited in terms of the amount of money flows.
Putin's own spokesman says that Putin is the target of these leaks.
Well, Putin's own spokesman said this is Putinophobia, is what they say. We have on the front page of the Financial Times today. And there's a lot of people saying, well, this is just simply America, CIA trying to get at the Russian government. But the reality is that this is actually a global story.
And I think it's...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say quickly, not only is it the hiding of this money, it's stealing from their own people.
Well, for a large part, yes. And what's fascinating about this is that this shows we live in an era of radical transparency. The idea that you can hide things anywhere is rapidly evaporating because 11.5 million documents have been leaked.
That's really the interesting point.
That's amazing.
11.5 million,
I mean,
compared to whatever Snowden did.
In the old days, you basically needed, think about how many boxes you'd need if that was paper.
Right.
These days, you stick it on one USB stick and suddenly it's gone. And Edward Snowden leaked 1.5 million documents. This is 10 times bigger. And so this is really the era of big data and investigative journalism.
And how long will it take them to go through all of it to discover who's implicated?
Well, here's what's amazing. In the old days, if that had been paper, it would take years. Now, what they've created, these journalists who did this, is basically like a Wikipedia of these offshore tax haven documents. And you can literally go in, anybody watching can go in and type in the name of a politician, a business person, an address, an American state, and see if anybody there is implicated.
And who are these journalists?
This journalism is an international consortium. They're called the ICIJ, and essentially it's journalists all over the world who have come together and worked together. It's been led by a German newspaper, but many journalists are involved. And this really shows this is the era of cross-border investigative journalism using big data.
Feather in the cap for investigative journalism, don't you think?
Absolutely. Anyone who says the journalists these days are just doing trivia, celebrity stuff is dead wrong. This shows that journalism is still acting very much as an international watchdog.
What about U.S. politicians, U.S. businessmen or women?
Well, thus far, there aren't any obvious Americans named, but people haven't gone into the website fully yet to look at all the details. And even if there are no prominent American people, citizens, you can bet your bottom dollar that there are people living in America today who are actually on that website. And frankly, we need to get out and start searching.
All right. Thank you, Gillian Tett. Great to have you here.
Thank you.